The rain had been falling for hours, turning the dusty streets of the small town into a ribbon of glistening silver under the dim street lamps. Inside a narrow, dimly lit kitchen, a woman stood barefoot, her faded cotton dress clinging slightly to her knees from the dampness in the air. Her name was Mira, and her eyes, though soft and warm, carried a shadow that never quite lifted. She was a mother of one, a boy named Arif, just 12 years old, whose laughter was her entire world. That night, as the wind howled outside, Mira stirred a pot of thin lentil soup on the stove, watching it bubble and steam, the smell of turmeric and garlic filling the small space. To Arif, this was just another ordinary night. To Mira, it was a night where her heart was splitting quietly inside her chest. For months, she had been hiding a truth so heavy it threatened to crush her spirit. The doctors had told her weeks ago that her health was failing. A rare, aggressive illness was spreading through her body, something that could be slowed but not cured. The treatment was expensive, far beyond what she could afford from her job cleaning homes. But what kept her awake at night wasn't fear of dying, it was the fear of leaving her son alone in the world, without anyone to protect him. She had thought of every possibility, selling their small one-room house, working double shifts, borrowing from neighbors, but every path seemed to lead to a wall. And then, she had made a choice, one that she knew would never let her sleep peacefully again but would guarantee her son's future. She had secretly decided to give him up, not to strangers, but to a wealthy family in the city, people she once worked for, who had no children of their own and had adored Arif since he was little. They had offered what seemed like a miracle, full education, a safe home, a future filled with opportunities he could never have in their tiny town. The price for that future was simple but cruel, she would have to step away. The weeks turned into months, and though Mira told herself she had done the right thing, the emptiness gnawed at her like a constant hunger. She continued her work cleaning houses, her body growing weaker, the illness slowly taking its toll. Some nights, she would pass the train station where the city-bound buses stopped and imagine walking back into Arif's life. But she never did. She feared that if she saw his face again, she would never have the strength to leave. Her only comfort was the occasional word from the city, the couple would send short updates through a mutual acquaintance. "He's doing well in school," they would say. "He's learning to play the piano. He's making friends." These messages were bittersweet, warming her heart while twisting the knife deeper. One winter evening, when the wind carried the smell of wood smoke and the streets were quiet, Mira received an unexpected visitor. It was the woman from the city, the one who had taken Arif in. She stood at the door with a heavy shawl draped over her shoulders, her face pale and serious. "He's been asking about you," she said softly. "He doesn't understand why you left." Mira's throat tightened. She wanted to explain, to tell her the truth, but she shook her head. "Please," she whispered, "don't tell him. Not yet." The woman nodded slowly, but her eyes were filled with something Mira couldn't quite read, pity, maybe, or guilt. She handed Mira a small envelope. Inside was a photograph, Arif in a school uniform, standing tall, his smile wide and bright. Mira pressed the picture to her lips, tears blurring her vision. That night, she placed it under her pillow and dreamed of him laughing in a garden, calling for her, his voice echoing into the distance. By spring, her health had declined so much that she could no longer work. The neighbors began to notice her frailty, offering small bowls of food, helping her sweep the floor. She spent her days sitting by the window, knitting scarves she would end.